A year ago, I walked into Isaiah House broken in every way a person could be broken. I was detoxing from IV use of fentanyl, methamphetamine, morphine, xylazine, and heroin. My body was shutting down. The people that loved me were just waiting for a call that I was dead. 1 year ago, I was living on the streets of Louisville at 27th and Market, cold and hopeless, convinced that if drugs didn't kill me, the winter would. There's a lady over there, Marilyn, who walked in treatment. I'd been there, about 3 weeks before her, and she said, I remember seeing you walking down the street with that blue suitcase. The day I went to sober living, that wheel broke off that suitcase. And I keep that sitting because this wheel has been on every back street in Portland and the West End along with me. I truly had accepted that my age and the medical issues that I had, that along the way somewhere I had just missed something, and I was destined to live the way that I was living. And it went beyond hopelessness or darkness. I was disassociated. I'd just given up. So I checked into detox with the plans of staying 30 days so I could go back home to Mom's. Because, I tried that 1,000 times and it worked, so why not try it again? In dorm 6, I became so sick, I was literally lifted into a wheelchair and transported to the hospital, puking on Christy Brock the whole way. For any addicts out there, you know it's very difficult to get admitted into the hospital over detox, but I was admitted. And in that hospital room, something started to shift. Anybody that knows me knows I have rabbit blood coursing through my veins, and the hospital was the way I got out. I had fought inoperable cancer in 2015 with 6 rounds of chemo, went through a very bad spine surgery, but laying in a hospital, I knew I was in for the fight of my life. I didn't pick up the phone. I didn't even watch the TV. And on day 3, I did my second intake into Isaiah House. Things started to shift, and I realized that guilt did not have to be my compass, and shame did not have to be my master. Many attempts in the past at recovery, I would do something that looked like this. I would get a little bit of time, and I would start thinking about all the horrible things I'd done, driven by shame and guilt. So I'd try to make up for it really, really quickly, and it never worked. It was in those rooms at Isaiah House that I learned about the brain and what part I was working from that whole time, and that I could forgive myself. It was in that prayer room that I hit my knees, didn't know who or what I was praying to, but for the first time, I felt a weight come off of my chest. It's kind of like driving a car. I told my son this the other night. If I'm constantly staring in the rearview mirror, maybe not right away, but eventually I'm going to crash. Looking back is just designed for brief glimpses of how to go forward. A therapist would soon say to me in classroom 3, Gwinn, you've got to learn to putt with a pool cue. Meaning that there's no cookie cutter way to recovery. Everybody's recovery looks different. For years, I thought I could outsmart this thing. If I could just recite the big book. If I could work the steps like she did. If I could get that sponsor that has 20-some years. And it wasn't until I accepted that I'm an addict and alcoholic and leaned in that I no longer had to fight. This time I thought, how about this? What if I create a life that is so wonderful that using and drinking just doesn't fit into it? Seemed easier. I learned emotional intelligence at Isaiah House. The way I lived, if it felt good, I did it. If it didn't, I didn't. And although my heart is powerful, my heart can be deceitful. I started learning how to be intentional in Miss Damaris's class. Intentional meaning that I couldn't let my moods dictate my actions, right? Because sometimes I feel crazy, sometimes I feel sad, sometimes I feel lazy. So every day I have the mindset of I'm going to make my actions dictate my mood. Move a thought, move a muscle, move a thought. So when I don't want to get up at 4 a.m. and go to work, I don't lay there and think about it. I just put my feet on the floor, and those actions change my mood. I have become a master of simplicity and a master of watching and noticing the small things. I have also realized that I only had to do, all along, one thing to have this new life, and that was give up my old life. Not the broken pieces of it, but I had to give it all up, change everything. So brick by brick, truth by truth, choice by choice, I was doing just so. In phase 2, I appeared in front of a court because when I came in Isaiah House, I had warrants in 3 counties, circuit, district, family. And Taya King said, "You want to write a residency letter to the judges?" And I was like, "Can they come get me?" She was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, man." But I did it. I walked through it. So in phase 2, I'm approximately, 3 months sober, and I go to court, and they say, "Put your hands behind your back." So I go to jail from phase 2, clean and sober. Man, jail hits different when you're clean. However, it was probably the freest I've ever felt. Sitting in that jail cell, knowing that I didn't need anything. I didn't need anything more than just knowing I was there and that it was only temporary. So now I'm back at Isaiah House for my 3rd admission date, 3rd intake. And I just want to say that when the time came, the choice was given to me, do you want to go home? I moved into sober living. I am now a resident of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. It says so on my driver's license that Isaiah House helped me get. And I paid for my own car tags at the little precious DMV that you actually talk to people. Turns out I'm kind of a small town gal. Like at first I moved to sober living and I'm walking to the mailbox. Not just like from here to there, like walking to the mailbox. And I'm like, where do they do this craziness at? However, I will say that Harrodsburg, it's home. When I visit Louisville and I come back through and I pass that wedding venue with the rides on the side, I start to rock and breathe, right? Because it's my town. It's where my people are. It's where my tribe is. And I love Harrodsburg. I no longer have rabbit's blood. I'm practicing daily on being the tortoise. I'm the turtle. I do things slow. When it was time to move out of sober living, all types of little apartments popped up. And in the past, I would have grabbed the first one. I didn't. I took my time. When I got the apartment, another pivotal moment. In the past, if I got an apartment, by midnight that night, whole apartment's decorated. No kidding. This time I had to be intentional, and I had to put, as Mike Cox taught me in a class, my non-negotiables. Pick my 3 non-negotiables. I do that all day, Mike. I knew that rest was important because I work 12-hour shifts and I get up at 4:30. So I had to just do a bag and a box and a picture and a cup. And guess what? Now it's all done. And I could breathe and I could do it slowly. More important, well, I did enroll at U of L too, let me tell you. And I made the dean's list. I just found out yesterday. Yeah. So I will graduate in May of 2027 with my bachelor's in human resources and an emphasis on digital marketing and roll right into my master's degree. More important than any of this, I get to be a mother again. Man, it's the kids every time, right? I talk to my kids every day. I realized my relationships could be stronger from a distance. I didn't have to be right around the corner. My son was raced to the emergency room, I don't know, maybe a month ago for his appendix. And guess who got to give parental consent that the surgery could take place? This girl. Yeah, I got to be mom. And then my daughter, the same night on my birthday, caused crying so hard she can't breathe, and her boyfriend kicked her out. And I don't know what I'm going to do. And I said, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get you a place to stay. And by the time I headed back to Harrodsburg, I couldn't stay and help her unpack. But I got to show her she could lean on mom. And I got to show her how to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and live a different life. My motto is different from the way it used to be. Once I said, with a big syringe tattooed right here, you live by the needle, you're going to die by the needle. My motto today is that I don't do whatever I want or whatever feels good. I want freedom, and that freedom comes from having the choice to care for Gwinn. I am unapologetic about what makes me smile today. I was never broken or too far gone. I just needed a place to heal, and that place was Isaiah House. To my sisters in recovery, to anyone who thinks it's too late, let me be proof you are not out of time. You're not out of chances. You're not beyond redemption. Where there's breath, there's hope. Thank you to my mom, to my Aunt Sheila, to my kids, Bobby and Taylor. Thank you to my sponsor. And thank you, Harrodsburg. Thank you to Isaiah staff for not giving up on me when I've given up on myself. Yes, today I graduate, but more importantly, today I'm just beginning.